And Russia has announced that it'll give Ukraine a draft document outlining conditions for a long-term peace agreement once the current prisoner exchange is completed. Today, the first phase of that swap, each side released 390 soldiers and civilians. Now, more are due to be freed in the coming days. The swap's taking place at the border between Belarus and Ukraine. An agreement to release 1,000 prisoners each was the only concrete step to emerge from peace talks in Istanbul at the weekend. It's the largest exchange since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Our correspondent, Rebecca Ritters, has spent the day in northeastern Ukraine at the site of the prisoner swap. Welcome, Rebecca. What have you seen?
Phil, it's been an incredibly emotional day, as you can imagine here. It's been a long one for the relatives who've been waiting to see. As is often the case with these prisoner swaps, relatives don't get notification ahead of time that their loved ones are going to be arriving. So many have just arrived, and some of them you'll be able to see are still behind me. You can see the buses and the ambulances that have been bringing the soldiers here. They come here, they go through a process of infiltration, they get medical treatment before they're able to then reunite with their families. As I say, it's just been an incredibly emotional wait. So many people waiting to see whether their loved ones were here. We did see some really beautiful reunions, but we also saw a lot of tears of mainly women, but men also, people who were waiting, hoping, expecting their loved ones to arrive, that they weren't on any of the buses, and they say that they're going to wait. As you mentioned in the lead-in there, this is going to take a few days because 1,000 is, of course, a lot of people to be distributing, bringing back. So this is going to carry on over the weekend, and some of the people we spoke to said that they'd be camping out here waiting to see whether maybe tomorrow or on Sunday they might get to see a glimpse and to be reunited with their loved ones.
And how significant should we regard this, the fact that this is happening at all?
Well, I think it is incredibly significant. It's certainly significant for the people involved. I mean, these people, many of them spent, some 3 years in Russian detention, some less, of course, but these families who've been anxiously waiting, it is a momentous thing. You mentioned that this is the biggest prisoner swap, prisoner exchange that we've seen between Russia and Ukraine. That is, of course, very significant. It was, as President Zelensky himself has said, the only real concrete thing to come out of those negotiations. And so in that sense, it is significant. President Zelensky says that prisoner swaps are a way to, in some respects, build trust with Russia, and there is some hope that this could lead to, future further negotiations. That's certainly the tone that's coming out of the president's office, that they're willing, they're open, they want to see a ceasefire and they want to see a peace deal. And that's something that the call that we heard between Putin and Trump was something that may be on the cards, though of course you've got other people saying that Putin is simply just buying time. So definitely a positive step, and certainly for the people involved, but whether it leads anywhere, of course, we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, so just talk us through how this works, Rebecca. You say there are people there waiting to see their loved ones, so presumably they're notified, and then how does the scene unfold? Is this minivans arriving and people just spilling out?
Well, not everyone is notified. In fact, some, when the actual prisoner stop happens, it's up on the border. This one happened on the border with Belarus. Some of them are able to obviously call their loved ones, but many people just don't know. So you'll see these people here, they're anxiously waiting, they're holding pictures of their loved ones, hoping that the people who've been released will be able to give them some kind of notification. Perhaps they'd seen them in one of the detention centres, perhaps they've seen them along the way and they can give some information about their loved ones. It was really emotional, dramatic. I was myself nearly in tears, I have to say, when the buses came through and you see the soldiers through the windows waving. Some of them were crying. And then, of course, they're taken from there. It was pretty chaotic. There's a lot of press here. There was, the most soldiers that we've ever seen exchange, so some 270 here. and, you know, all the staff that go with that. So it was quite chaotic scenes, everyone trying to see whether their loved ones were getting off the buses. Not everyone knows, of course, and then you see a lot of people very disappointed that they didn't find their loved ones. Then, of course, they go inside, they get checked medically, and then they have to go through a process where they speak to the security services. Obviously, some of them may have, obviously have been under a lot of duress, and so the security services here want to find out what may have been said, what may have been told to Russia, the Russian government. So, you know, it's a very long process, and it depends on each individual case, of course, but, you know, eventually, basically, the bottom line is these people now have returned to Ukraine, and they get to go back to their families.
Okay, thanks for talking us through that, Rebecca. DW correspondent Rebecca Ritters in Ukraine.